Okay, Todd fans. So I haven't done a video in quite some time for unboxing of a Todd McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. But as soon as I opened this one, I just felt I needed to talk about it because it's not great, and the price point is terrible for the figure itself. So we're going to talk about it. I'm sure people have bought this and they know the type of figure that it is, because they probably opened it, or maybe they didn't open it. Maybe it's on their display in the box, but I open everything. And so we're going to talk today about this right here, Titano and Flash, the 2-pack. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Flash figure. The Flash figure it's a decent, it's the same one we've already had before, but it's a decent repaint with the gold. Now, that being said, I could have taken the normal Flash figure and painted it gold myself. I don't see any reason to re-release the same figure with a different paint job. But, of course, as we know, Todd McFarlane is notorious for doing so. Now, not to say that's a bad thing. He's a businessman. That's how you make money. And we as collectors, we're not going to lie, we like repaints from time to time. The issue that I have with the Flash is the face, really, because let's close in on the face there a little bit. It's a little blurry, but it looks kind of weird. It's a little different. I think it's a little different of a sculpt from the previous Flash. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just painted and looks weird the way it's painted, but that's at least something for this 2-pack. Considering the other 2-packs that they gave us for Batman King Kong and Superman Godzilla were basically reprints of the Hush Batman figure and the Hush Superman figure with Godzilla and King Kong. So, I got this one because it was on clearance. Now the retail on this set is I want to say $69.99, and Target had clearanced it for $30 because, or $39.99, so $40, because no one was paying the price point that's set for these figures. And now, that being said, I'm going to show you why nobody wants to pay the price point for these figures. So again, the Flash figure, not too bad. It's a gold repaint. It's okay. But retail on that would normally be $24.99. Now, that's the current retail value of this figure, or retail cost of this figure, not value. Previously, it would have been $19.99 in the old, before they switched it up recently. So now we're going to take a look at the Titano figure. Now, Titano's not a very well-known character, and I'll be honest with you, I would have much rather had like a comic book accurate Gorilla Grodd, which we're still missing. We just have that Page Punchers one that's not fantastic, and we have the little one from Injustice that really does no justice to Grodd. Most people I've seen displaying their Kong figure as Grodd, they're customizing it into Grodd and displaying it that way, which makes total sense. So let's look at the Titano figure. This is the Titano figure, and this, McFarlane is usually pretty known for articulation. This thing, not so much. And what really sucks about this is this figure could have had articulation. You could have had elbow articulation. You could have had knee articulation. There would be nothing wrong with adding that, but I'm going to show you why it doesn't have that. Let me see if I can get this set up here just for a second. All right. There. Now that's going to hold. Now I'm going to show you why McFarlane Toys did not do articulation on this figure. And, bear with me because I had a nice laugh about this when I saw it. So, those toys that they make for children, for, like up to like ages 8, maybe 9 at the latest. This is basically one of those. I'm going to show you why. Look at that. Do you see that? This whole figure is hollow all the way on the inside. The entire inside of this figure is hollow. Right where the arm pops off and pops back on to just rotate up and down. Same with the waistline. I don't know if I was able to take the waistline off. No, I can't take the waistline off. I don't want to break it, and it's a little more difficult. But basically the same thing. It just has that waist adjustment, and there's no moving of the legs. It's really weak. The head moves, but the jaw doesn't open and close. Much like the Killer Croc figure we got, we wanted a jaw that opened and closed, but instead we get this, sorry for saying it, half-butted, jawline on the figure. It's not hard to incorporate an open and shut mouth on an action figure. It doesn't cost any extra time except a little bit of work in the mold to make it go up and down. I mean, the teeth are already there, the jawline's already there. You just have to make it open and close. Not hard. But again, the other arm does the same exact thing. Just pops off and it's completely hollow on the inside. I haven't tried to take the head off because I didn't want to risk breaking it, but the head does have a slight bit of articulation. It at least moves, decently. I'm going to risk it. Okay. So the head is a normal Mcfarlane head. Normal Todd McFarlane head with normal articulation. If you can do that, I don't understand why you can't give us knee joints and elbow joints in a figure this big. The hands do move. That's at least something. But the problem is you got a fist on one side and an open hand on the other. It would have been nice to have two, extra hands, an extra fist and an extra open hand. These don't look to come off as easy, so I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to break it. But, yeah, I feel like there was really no effort put into this, and the price point of $69.99, no one wants to pay $69.99 for a figure like this that really has. You can take that $69.99, you can go on any normal website, Big Bad Toy Store, or you can order it from basic retail, however you want to do it, and you can get a figure just like this, same size, ape and everything, that fully articulates for like $79.99. They have a King Shark from I think DH Collectibles, if I'm not mistaken. Comes with a bunch of accessories, fully articulates, has 3 different heads, and it's currently on Big Bad Toy Store on clearance for $60. It was $100 originally. It's dropped down to $60. But the value of this toy is not $69.99, or sorry, action figure. We call them action figures. The value of this action figure is not $69.99, even if you include the Flash with it. My personal opinion, as far as all the McFarlanes that I've picked up to date, and that's quite a few, I have pretty much almost every figure he's released. This set right here, along with the Superman and Godzilla, along with the Batman and King Kong, are not worth the price point that was given to us. I could see maybe a $49.99 price point for these figures, simply because it's the bigger figure and has the heavier weight, more to ship, all that fun stuff. But $69.99, nobody's buying it for that. I can almost assure anyone that this set right here, everyone bought it on clearance for around the $30 price point at Target, after the matter. And the Superman set and the Batman set, the same thing. They're popping up in Ross, they're popping up in Target for that, $29.99 price point that just kind of makes sense for this quality of figure, unfortunately. Now, I do have one more thing. This is a separate figure, but I'm going to show it in this video because this kind of irritates me too, having been a collector of DC Multiverse McFarlane since he started in 2019. Some of this kind of stuff just frustrates me to the point of where I just really don't want to collect anymore, and I'm kind of happy that Mattel is getting the contract back, in all honesty. And don't get me wrong, I love Todd. Todd McFarlane's a great guy. I've had conversations with him. I've talked to him multiple times. Great human being, great businessman, great, the figures are great, but he's just, some of the stuff is just frustrating. And I'm going to show you this. So we recently got, I'll show you, I haven't opened this one yet, it's in the box, but we recently got Sandman and Mr. Miracle. These are 2 figures that plenty of collectors out there have been waiting for quite some time. And we recently got them. So I'm going to show you Mr. Miracle, and you tell me if anything looks familiar about Mr. Miracle. This is the Mr. Miracle figure. I'm sure everyone's seen it online. Everyone knows what it looks like. Now, look really close there. What does it look like to you? This is a copy-paste of the Red Tornado mold. It's literally the same exact figure. All that was added was the Mr. Miracle belt and a couple of accessories, and then they just painted it differently. But this is basically the Red Tornado figure. Put in some effort and some energy. At least change it a little bit and give it a cloth cape. You started the cloth cape thing. We were loving it. you could have given this figure a cloth cape and not done a copy of Red Tornado. It makes no sense to me that we're. I understand you have to reuse molds. I get that, but change it to some extent to make collectors happy. Otherwise, we're sitting on a bunch of figures that look almost exactly the same, even though it's a different character. Now I'm going to get to the other one. This is the last one. I did open this one because I really, really wanted this one and I wanted to see it. This is Sandman. Excuse me. Now, if you look closely, look at the figure itself. It's a little blurry because camera phone, blah blah blah. But look at the leg, look at the pant legs, look at the vest, look at the structure, the figure, look at the coat. What is this a repaint of? I know you're kind of thinking about it, but this is a Dark Knight reprint of Joker. They basically took the Joker body, repainted it, tossed a Sandman head on it, gave it the Sandman gun, painted it a different color, and you have Sandman on a Dark Knight Joker body. I could take this and paint this the Dark Knight colors and pop that Sandman head off and use the extra Joker head from the bank robber Joker, and I would have a Dark Knight Joker figure. It's really unfortunate that this is happening. And I'm sure it's not just Todd McFarlane. I'm sure Hasbro does the same thing. I'm sure Mattel does the same thing. I'm sure it's a force of habit with these action figure companies to release reprints of practically everything that they've made. I mean, they just announced the New York Comic Con exclusives, and one of the exclusives is literally a repaint of the Bane that we already got. That's I think going for almost $200, but now they've given it the Batman the Animated Series colors and it glows in the dark, so everyone's going to go crazy for that now. It's just, I've been collecting these since 2019, and I love DC Multiverse. I love DC characters. I'm a huge DC fan, Green Lantern being my favorite, but I don't understand why some of these companies, when we're spending so much money, it costs, I guarantee it costs under $5 to make one of those figures. They're dropping a couple $100 on the molds, and then the plastics and everything, even with the cost of plastic and the importing, and, everyone will argue tariff this and, extra fees that and whatnot and so forth. Those figures are still costing, under a $10 price point to make. And we're paying, for a single figure, not even a collector's edition figure, a regular figure, we're paying $24.99 now, and $34.99 for the collector's edition, and then $69.99 for the two packs to $89.99 for the two packs. I think the Killer Croc Grim Knight, which again repaints again, was a $79.99 price point at GameStop. And my point is I've collected these since McFarlane got the DC license. I loved the beginning of his run. I absolutely loved the beginning of his run. Great work on a lot of those figures, but then he started getting repetitive, and he started releasing, multiple Batmans in sets, and as a collector, it just went downhill for me, and I just wasn't enjoying collecting anymore. And the scalping doesn't help, As a collector, I've bought and sold stuff. Everyone has, but some of these scalpers can be pretty excessive, and I just don't. I don't think it's necessary to scalp so high on things sometimes. Like a single figure. Like I saw someone post that Mr. Miracle and Sandman for I think $80. No. Sorry, $95 shipped for both. $95 shipped for both. Shipping on those, maybe $9 tops if you put them in the right box and you ship it with, pirate shipping. Who does not endorse me? I'm just saying pirate shipping. That's what most people use. $9-10 to ship it out. So the shipping costs I can understand, but the price point of the figure is $24.99. So why not sell it for $30? You make a $5 profit, and everybody's happy. Someone gets the figure that they really wanted, and you make $5 off of it because you went for that. Now people will argue, oh well, I had to use my gas and I had to put the effort into hunting. I'm gonna tell you something. You're out there hunting for these action figures anyways because you darn well know that you're collecting them. All these people are collecting them. So your argument of the cost of gas and time suddenly becomes null and void because you're out there collecting too. So that's your time and your gas already because you're already out there doing the deed. So you can't use gas and you can't use time as an excuse for jacking up the price on a figure to a ridiculous amount and scalping it for a crazy amount of money. we're all collectors. We all should try to be good to one another and try to trade one another and help each other out when we have the opportunity. We shouldn't be crazy scalping everything. I couldn't even get my hands on the Tumblr Batmobile with Lucius Fox because everyone wants $200 for it. It's not a $200 action figure. It was, I think it was $79.99 when it came out in May, and maybe 120 tops, but $200 to $250, it's just not. That's too high of a price point for that thing. So anyways, that's, pretty long video there, but I wanted to share the Flash and Titano that I got for $30 at Target on clearance, because I wanted to point out that this is a type of figure that nobody's buying right now because the price point is too high. And as much as people love, Mcfarlane toys and DC Multiverse, and even the same thing goes for Hasbro and Mattel and everybody else, the prices are just, they're getting outrageous, and it's causing people like myself, a collector, to really just not enjoy collecting anymore. And it's unfortunate because I've done it since I was maybe 9. I've collected, maybe even earlier than that, I don't remember, but it's horrible quality for such a high price. If you're going to pay a high price for something, then the quality needs to be better. I would use SH Figure Arts as an example, but even SH Figure Arts has gone kind of half-butted on their quality, in the last few years on a lot of their, at least the DC figures that I've looked at. The only one that I ever really owned was the Batman, and it was really cool. It's a Hush Batman. It's a great figure. I think I paid $79.99 for it way back when. But yeah, that's it. Just the Titano and Flash, and I just wanted to share what they look like out of the box, and whether or not I believe that the price point that was set for them is worth the actual, I guess, value of the figure, and I don't believe it is. So anyways, yep. So enjoy collecting. Have a good one.